Over in the Western Conference, Steph Curry back in action for the Dubs as they took on the reigning champs Oklahoma City Thunder. And out the gates, Golden State showed a little something. Draymond Green finding Curry off the screen, nails that three to bring him within one. Next Thunder possession was indicative of things to come. SGA working from the left wing, step back three with ease. Fast forward to 5 minutes left in the first. SGA driving to the left side. Up and over Steph. Hooping the harm goes to Shea. Thunder up 9 after the first. Later on, Thunder up 13. Jalen Williams. Curry called for yet another foul. Next OKC possession. SGA to the rack, kicking out to Jalen Williams. Top side three is good. Thunder is rolling. Warriors all kinds of frustrated. And it would only get worse. Chet Holmgren throws that one down. Thunder up 63-44 at the break. The 19-point deficit for the Warriors, their largest at halftime this season. But it wouldn't get any better. SGA in the third. Right hand over Draymond Green for the and one. And it was just clinical, surgical from SGA. Just over 4 minutes left in the third. SGA left wide open. 28 points for him. His 84 20-point game. Chet Holmgren was perfect from the field. Here's Mark Dagner on that.
I think that's been brewing, for
everywhere but loose. Led by the best player in the league, SGA. They are the best team in the league. No J-Dub yet. He hasn't touched the floor, but they continue to find ways to win, right? You see Chet Holmgren, monster 20 and 10-point game tonight. AJ Mitchell, he's been balling. Isaiah Joe had 18 points off the bench tonight. This team is still starving, like they're trying to repeat. And right now, it's no other team that's looking them eye to eye, that's clicking on all cylinders and have the depth that the Oklahoma City Thunder has, and it's scary for the rest of the league.
It sure is. You said it earlier. No J-Dub. Jalen Williams hasn't played a minute. You miss an all-NBA player, and you still look like one of the best teams of all time. What can stop OKC?
The best team.
Yeah, right. Exactly. All right, hang tight. Grizzlies at the world's most famous arena. John Morant, Jalen Brunson. Knicks looking to stay undefeated on their home court. Just over a minute left in the first. Look at the ball movement. Brunson to Hart to OG Anunoby for the reverse dunk. Sup, OG. Knicks up 7. 30 seconds later, Josh Hart, smooth like a pair of Tommy Johns. Layup's good plus the foul. You're all right. Knicks lead up to 10. Then Brunson, the floater. 8 seconds to go. Knicks on a 12-0 run to end the quarter. Their 7th quarter with 40 points this season leads the NBA. They do it in spurts, and they do it well. 3.5 left to go in the half. Jordan Clarkson with the steal off Ja. Over to Gershon Yabusele with the slam. Knicks up 18. Then Mikal Bridges, the steal off Cedric Coward. And then he takes it down for the dunk. You see how this is going, right? Knicks dominating, up 23 at the half. More of the same. Here's Jalen Brunson weaving through, getting the buck. Hey, defense. It's not optional, guys. Come on, let's do this. 32 points for Brunson. Karl Anthony Towns right here. Remember what I said about defense, guys? Yeah, the guys in blue, not wanting to play it. Knicks win by 13. Wasn't even that close.
To an even worse blowout, Steph Curry's return to the court wasn't a welcome one. OKC rolled over the Warriors, leading by 37 after 3 quarters. Golden State now 1-6 on the road. And Draymond has some thoughts on the differences from last year's team to this year's.
You gotta have some kind of agenda, but your agenda has to fit into the team. But agendas are bad, and they're not as good this year. Just get me off the train.
That was a lot of words.
Get me off the train, man. I don't understand.
I just can't help but think this is a team that got another year older too, by the way. So that's probably not helping.
But also,
all of this.
I would think Dre, as a leader, maybe just have that conversation in house. But no,
we're gonna air it out, baby.
No?
It's the Draymond Green way.
Making sure that when they jumped, it was wide enough. If I'm looking at the 3-point line, it was high enough that by the time that they did get closer to the 3-point line, they had time to switch back. They X'd out so well on those executions, and it was just like, I mean, this is
recover.
OKC.
They recover as well as any team in the league. Their athleticism, they're quick, and they played Draymond to be the passer tonight, which I think was a subtle adjustment Steve Kerr tried to make in the third quarter. Put the ball in Jimmy's hands more in the half court because they played Draymond to pass. Where this was a game where we could have seen Draymond maybe shoot the three ball because they were giving him that shot, knowing that Steph was coming off those screens. All right, you mentioned it earlier. They're playing like a young, hungry Warriors team from a decade ago. So through the first 12 games, on the way to winning 73 games, Fezzi, you guys were averaging 114 points per game, different games, shooting 48%, and your defense was locked down. Look at that. Didn't even give up 100 points a game through the first 12. Now you look at OKC, they're giving up about 10 more points, but they're also scoring about 8 more points per game, and they're just as deadly. You mentioned it, and I'm starting to see what you see with that Oklahoma City team. And don't forget, last season, they beat their opponents by an average of 13 points per game. They're a top five team historically in this league.
I see a couple things when I watch this team. I see a selflessness. You see it on the defensive end. Everybody is in help and recover constantly. Zena was just showing you beautifully how when you get to the three-point line, when you see a pick and roll, they're recovering, and guys are covering for each other on the X. All these things are things that really help the defense. They are holding opponents to 41% from the field in general. That is choking the offense out of the other team. That is, you're putting your pressure and putting your imprints on the game defensively. Offensively, they can mix and fill. They're so deep of a team that losing Jalen Williams, who's their second best player, doesn't even matter. They just continue to roll in. They have a guy fill in. AJ Mitchell. There's no new Lou Dort tonight. Yeah. They have guys to fill into roles, and they're such a deep team, and they have this continuity where everybody knows exactly where they're supposed to be. They're playing a two-big lineup. Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein. They also have a great chemistry to where Isaiah's on the baseline or Chet is on the baseline, and the other guy can drive and kick to him at any point. I think this chemistry for this team is the thing that I see the most. I see it defensively, I see it offensively, and there's a hunger they come into this year with that says we're still trying to come back and win it back, run it back.
Zena, let me jump in here because the starting fives here. I want you to compare the starting fives from a decade ago. You see Steph, he was 30. Come on, Bonte, going to be averaging 30 a game.
Don't do this,
Klay Thompson, 22.
Don't do this.
This is a great starting five for the Golden State Warriors. Draymond was up to 14 points per game. He's shooting over 38% from the three-point line. But Jalen Williams hasn't played yet. He's a 22-point-per-game scorer, and he was showing out in the postseason. Lou Dort could lock down, defend anybody. Then you get Chet and Hartenstein. The difference to me is the bigs, because their bigs are a little more versatile, but this would have been a great 5-on-5 pickup game.
Don't do this,
I got one question.
I'm sorry.
I got one question. Look at this graphic. Tell me, out of that starting five, who was there the year before? In 2014, 2015. Out of that starting five, who was on the team?
Everybody.
Exactly.
Same thing. Continuity.
Exactly. It's continuity. You literally dropped the two words I wanted to say, and I'm happy you said it. Continuity and chemistry. It doesn't matter who you have on the other end. It doesn't matter that Lou Dort isn't scoring over 10 points per game. It matters that they know each other. You can have each other's backs because you've been in practice for 2 straight seasons, and you've locked in, you've bought in, you know how you want to play. And they have an identity. And right now, you don't have that same continuity right now on the Warriors side. There's been a little bit, there's continuity. Of course, Draymond and Steph are always going to be a tandem. But Jimmy's new in this technically, right? You're still looking at Jonathan Kuminga getting back into this mix as a starter, as someone that's contributing way more. You're still looking at the big in this situation, not knowing, who's going to be the person that's going to step up each night. So there's not the same level of continuity. I'm not even trying to compare these two teams today, because right now I don't think that that's a fair comparison. But looking at that team, that is why they execute so well. They've been with each other. They've been in the trenches with each other, and they know each other.
What I see is the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think they've come into the season the same way the Warriors came into that season, winning a championship. You feel like you've been disrespected a little bit in the summer, and they come out with the same intensity, saying we're going to try to run it back again. And so everything, defensive, offensive, they've been so locked in the season. Right now they're looking like the favorites for the championship this year. But, Bonte, I'll say this. Do you remember who won the game November 18, 2018? What's today? November 11th. November 11th, 2018?
Yeah.
You remember who won that game that day?
Who won that game?
Yeah, it doesn't matter because it's November. All right, still the start of the season. All right, everybody just hold on for the Warriors. This is a lot of time for the Warriors to get better for the season to go on. But it's a measuring stick right now.
You know what, though? You're right. Doc Rivers had talked. A lot of people talk saying, you guys didn't play the best teams, blah, 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 blah. You guys go out there and win 73. A lot of people thought, OKC, yeah, they're not going to go back-to-back. And SGA said it. We're playing like a team that lost in the second round of the playoffs. We felt like we didn't play well against, it shoots over 50%. Warriors are giving up 49% on the season. So that's going to go up 44.5% from the three-point line. And you see those turnovers. We discuss this every single night. Okay, they had a season high in steals, 16. That's a positive. You got to the free throw line 29 times. That's a positive. But it's the turnovers. 21 turnovers a night. They give up 27 points off those turnovers. And responsible for 5 of those turnovers was Jonathan Kuminga. And I thought he got off to a good start tonight, cutting to the basket, found Steph on a nice cut. But he committed 5 turnovers tonight, 13 points. He was 6 of 9 from the floor. But again, nobody had it offensively. Not a good rhythm. Look, again, he got off to a good start. I like that pull-up jumper right there, Zena. But it's the turnovers. You have to take care of the basketball.
Got to take care of the basketball, and also you got to continue to be aggressive, even when you're making those turnovers. Early in the game, Kuminga missed a switch out on a rub screen that basically ended up with, I believe, Isaiah Hartenstein wide open under the basket. And I love the fact that Steve Kerr kept him in to allow him to kind of make up for that mistake. And you saw him early in that game make up for those mistakes by attacking the basket, getting to the rim, but he missed some layups. I think he missed 2 early layups. And I don't know if that impacted him at all, but you saw eventually floor would be cleared out for Jonathan Kuminga, and he wasn't taking it. He was trying to find opportunities to pass out to his teammates. I would have loved to see him continue to be aggressive. 6 of 9 is not bad, right? That's not a bad, that's efficient, right? But you just still want him. This is his game. A game like this with the athleticism that was out there, for him to be more aggressive. I wish we could have seen a little bit more of that from him.
This is a game tailor-made to let Jonathan Kuminga to thrive and to eat on the floor. I thought with all the double teaming of Steph on the top of the floor, that JK had the clear side on the back to get the ball and to attack. One thing that went wrong was the Warriors kept turning the ball over. When you have 21 turnovers and 23 assists, that means you turn the ball over just as much as you got it to your teammates for a layup. And that right there is the way OKC plays. They speed you up. They take you out of your comfort zone. And I thought JK never got into a rhythm. But what I want to see more of on this road trip is JK just taking that. The fact that Steph has a guy, Casey Wallace, is on Steph, and he was glued to him, like he was stuck to him like glue. Take that space and eat it and go create a shot for yourself. This is the whole point of you being the guy that's the most athletic on the floor. I thought 5 turnovers is too much for being in a game like this because you're giving layups to the other team. And those are shots that you could take. I thought he was being very passive and trying to create shots for his teammates, yes. But you got to start first by being the guy that attacks, make the defense respect you, collapse, and then you could create for other guys.
Yeah, didn't attempt a 3-point shot tonight, but he was 6 of 9, but it's the 5 turnovers he'll want to clean up. And then we get to Draymond Green, and Draymond Green didn't have his best effort. You just heard from Steve Kerr. Probably going to get the night off tomorrow night against Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. But tonight, Draymond Green, just 3 points, 4 assists. In a game like this, Fezzi, felt like he could be more aggressive shooting the ball. We saw it last Friday in Denver where he made 5 threes. But OKC recovery pass. That was a great recovery.
No, but look at that's what they do. OKC, they frustrate you out of what you're trying to run. The Warriors have the Draymond Steph pick and roll that has been working for years and years. We talked about the 2015-16 team. It was unstoppable. Now you have OKC. They have all guards that can switch out on the perimeter. Isaiah Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren, even the base can switch out. So what they do is they understand that this is a pick and roll that's problematic. Even all the way up beyond the three-point line, they double team. Isaiah Hartenstein is jumping out. He's guarding Draymond. He's jumping out on Steph. Who is protecting him right there? Alex Caruso. If Draymond gets the ball from Steph, and Steph passes to Draymond where he does a lot of his damage, Caruso is right there, and he jumps in front of Draymond to stop him and stop his forward momentum. Now he can't create shots for other guys. Draymond was trying to force some passes tonight. I thought he could have been – I thought the Warriors offense could have done a better job of taking advantage of the double team. They did not. Draymond wasn't able to get those passes going, and so the offense was just clunky all night. And that was one of the examples of it. I
could tell that Draymond was getting frustrated with not being able to blow up what they wanted to do in the same way that they were blowing up what the Warriors were doing. This is what Draymond usually tips his cap on. I know what you're going to do next, and I'm going to find a way to layer the next action to make it look silly that you attempted to try to blow this up. And we didn't see enough of that. Once it got disrupted, whether the pick and roll with Steph got disrupted, there wasn't the next thing, and they weren't adjusting on the next play. I don't know if that's strictly on Draymond, if that's something that's in the huddle that you got to discuss, but that's where Draymond is genius, to be able to make those adjustments, and that's what you would have loved to see a little bit more out of, even if he's not taking those shots.
Right. 1-4 tonight.
Warriors Nation, gather up. Because tonight, we're not just talking about a loss. We're talking about a signal, a wake-up call that came loud and clear from deep within the core of this franchise. The road trip continues. The wounds are raw. The roster is battered. And yet, somewhere in the ashes of this 6th straight road loss, something important is being exposed. Something that this team can use to redefine itself. Let's dive in. Tuesday night in Oklahoma City, the Warriors returned to the land of the Thunder, the defending champs, roaring and confident. Stephen Curry came back after an illness spell, ready to lead, but even his return couldn't stop the slide. The Warriors were blown out, 126-102. 6th straight road loss. That figure alone would make any fan sit up. But the bigger moment came after the game, when Draymond Green looked straight into the mirror and then pointed directly at the team and possibly at the roster's soul. Green said it plainly. I think everyone was committed to winning after the Jimmy Butler trade last season. Right now, it doesn't feel that way. Then he added the barbed line, I think everyone has a personal agenda in this league. You have to make the personal agenda work in the team confines. If it doesn't work, then you've got to get rid of your agenda, or eventually the agenda is the cause of someone getting rid of you. No names, no filters, just truth. Harsh truth. That moment is vivid because Draymond is the soul of this locker room. A 4-time All-Star, a former Defensive Player of the Year. He doesn't speak lightly. When Draymond speaks out, you listen. And what he just said is a red flag wrapped in frustration, wrapped in challenge. It's exactly what championship teams confront when the veneer cracks. The question now, will the Warriors respond? Let's map the terrain. The losses on the road are piling up. They won the opener versus the Lakers and then proceeded to lose the next 6 away games. That's a brutal haul, especially for a team whose identity has been tied to fearlessness on the road, to making hostile arenas look like home. And now they're starting a brutal 6-game road trip, right when fatigue, age, injury are all whispering in the background. Curry's return should have been the spark, but the offense without Curry had already cratered. 24th in the league in offense in the 6-game stretch without him. Younger teams are pushing, faster teams are catching. The Warriors are running against time. Jimmy Butler's dealing with a back issue, Al Horford has been limited, the rotation has been shuffled, and Draymond deserves every second of rest he hasn't taken yet. And yet, and this is the big yet, there is hope. Because what we witnessed last season, after the Jimmy Butler trade, was a team that showed up, a team renewed, a team that had everybody committed to winning. And now we have the language of accountability, internal pressure. Draymond's words are not just critique, they're a roadmap. Fix what's broken, regroup around the mission, or fall behind. Here's why I believe the Warriors can and will respond. First, the return of Curry means the gravity returns. He drags help defenders. He creates offense. His presence alone opens cracks in defenses. With OKC missing key defenders like Luguentz Dort and Jalen Williams, Curry has an opportunity to feast. The roster around him, when healthy and focused, still has talent. Butler, Green, Horford, Moody, Richard, they have the pieces. They just have to connect the dots. And second, when a guy like Draymond calls out agendas, that means it's boom time. It means the season is being reset. It means the culture is being challenged. And when culture is challenged, the stars show up. The veterans step forward. The sense of urgency sharpens. That is the beginning of a turnaround. Third, The schedule is brutal right now. The road trip is tough. But here's the inside logic. No easier time to reset than when you are under fire. A road trip like this becomes a crucible, a chance to prove, not just talk. If the Warriors emerge 3-3 or better, they'll flip the narrative. They'll prove they're still Warriors, resilient, battle-tested, and capable of reinventing. Let's talk about what to watch for. The energy level. Does Golden State show up willing to bleed on the road, or do they hang back and limp through? Butler's health and usage. If he shows force, attacks the paint, finishes strong, the rest will follow. Draymond's minutes and intensity. He may get rest, but when he's on the floor, is he still the defensive engine, the voice, the disruptor? The bench stepping up. Young pieces like Moses Moody, Will Richard, Quinton Post, they need to make the leap. The rotational depth must matter. The chemistry, the agenda Draymond mentioned. It must give way to us, not me. If the team fights as one, we'll see it on the scoreboard. Now, let me paint the scenario. The Warriors enter San Antonio the next night. They're 0-6 on the road. The odds are stacked, but the narrative is shifting. If chess pieces are aligned, Curry healthy, veterans accountable, bench rising, this team can change fast. And for Warriors fans, this is the kind of moment you were born for. Not when everything is perfect, but when everything is falling apart and you've got to fix it. Because the Warriors are more than a team. They're a mindset. They're a legacy. And they're still one of the most dangerous franchises in the league when their mind is right. So here's the bottom line for Warriors Nation. Draymond's challenge is your invitation. The losses are your alarm. The return of Curry is your spark. What happens next determines if this is the beginning of a redemption run or a wasted season. And I firmly believe the Warriors will choose the former. Now, I want to hear your take. Do you believe the Warriors will respond after Draymond's call-out? Do you believe Curry's return can tip the balance? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if you're riding with Warriors Nation News. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our breakdowns, reactions, and all things Bay Area basketball. Warriors Nation, the fight is on. Let's go.